Hello everybody, welcome back to my Cook at Home series with Tonya here at Cooking on the Bay. Today we're going to be doing a spatchcocked chicken. We're going to roast it and I'm going to put a little bit of herb butter in between the skin and the chicken. Now when I buy my chicken at the market, and as you know I buy it at K&L Poultry from Chris Johnson there at the market, I always bring the chicken home and take it out of its plastic bag and put it in a container. Now this is a little chicken, it's a size 10 chicken, and that's because it's just for Michael and I. And so there it is. With spatchcocking, all spatchcocking means is that you remove the backbone and you open it out. Butterfly chicken it's often called as well. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be just simply oiling it and salt and peppering it, and that's how I often do it. And Monday night used to be the night that I'd visit my son and my grandchildren. I'd take a couple of these slightly bigger chickens and I would simply do this every Monday night, and the kids loved it. It was always very nice, and they had plenty of leftover chicken for their sandwiches and to take to school. It was also a very easy thing for me to do during the afternoon of my workday. Now with this chicken, I'm going to, spatchcocking just means the butterfly, I'm going to actually take out the backbone. I find that when you spatchcock it, it takes a lot less time to cook, and it's really, really nice and juicy. So we think it's much more tender. So I'll start with that. Now we're going to, it doesn't matter whether you leave the little Pope's nose on or not. Some people take off the little wingtips. I don't do that. I find they're fine. But you can if you want to. So now these scissors, I should say, these lovely poultry shears, these I actually bought in France at a fabulous cookware shop called De Ileron. De Ileron is in near the Marais area of Paris. And it's a beautiful shop, so if you ever get a chance to go back to Paris, when we can travel again, it's worth a visit. You'll spend a lovely couple of hours there. It has the most amazing collection of everything you can possibly imagine to do with cookware. It's the oldest cookware shop in Paris and it's very famous. They have the best collection of copper you can ever imagine. In fact, I bought my copper tartane dish there, and I have bought a few other things there. They have some lovely inexpensive things also to give to friends as a bring home present. Anyway, you do not have to go to Paris to buy your chicken shears, but if you do, it's always nice because it's nice memories. But you can buy them here as well. But they are very strong, and they're great for obviously removing the backbone, and they're also very good for just generally cutting up a chicken if you want to portion it. Now, prior to getting my lovely big heavy-duty shears, I used to use these serviceable, versatile kitchen scissors, and they worked very well as well. They're just not quite as strong as these. So we're going to remove the backbone. Now the backbone I always reserve, as you would imagine, and put to one side, freeze it, wrap it up and freeze it, along with the rest of the bones when we've eaten the chicken. There we go. So now, so I'll just put that to one side, and then I usually just get a little paper towel and take out any of the inside bits. You don't have to do this, but I tend to do it because you're not going to eat that. Okay, and if there's a little bit of extra bone around there, I'll sometimes remove that, but that's quite neat today. So you don't want any loose floating bones in there. And then it's a very good idea to take out the wishbone, because when you take out the wishbone, it means that you can splay this out much better. So we'll just get out a knife and run it along here to remove the wishbone. Just get a grip on it. There you go. And then run it around with your fingers is probably just as easy, particularly with a little chicken like this. Where's the rest of it? There. Very deep. Can you see that, Michael? That getting that little wishbone out? It's quite a delicate one when it's such a tiny little chicken. These are, I don't know what I said, but this is a size 10 for us. Oh, it was already broken, but that's okay, as long as we remove it. You do this as the first job in boning a chicken too. But every time you roast a chicken, it's a good idea to take out this before you roast it. Makes carving it very much easier. So there we are. So now you can see that's still held together there by the little shoulder blades. So we'll just turn it over and flatten it. Can you hear that crack? Just cracked it a bit. Now, there we have our little spatchcocked chicken. And you can see that it will sort of dance for you. I think I might have seen Julia Child do that. Anyway, so when I roast it, I simply, when I was doing it for the family, or most nights I do it, I simply oil this. I will oil it now, just to show you what I normally do. Oil it. Give it a bit of a massage. Put some salt and pepper over it. We'll do the other side first. A little bit of salt and pepper in there. I'll just wipe my hands a bit better. This will take about 40 to 45 minutes in a 180 to 190 oven. Okay, so do it again. It's quite remarkable how really tender this is. So if you normally roast your chicken whole, when you try this, you'll be really surprised and delighted by the fact that it's just so tender and juicy. Now, in the bottom of our pan, our roasting pan, I've just got some parsley stalks there from parsley that I've used, there'll be a few nice juices that will run out of the chicken. So I thought I'd just put a bit of onion in the bottom with the skins on to add more flavour for any gravy that we might want to make or any sauce. I have some chicken stock here that we will use. Some chicken stock which is still frozen actually. I'm going to defrost it. Put in a pot and defrost it. So we'll leave that. Now, because I thought this may be nice to make a little bit more special for you, it's also nice to ease away the skin and put some lovely butter, parsley butter, garlic butter under the skin, okay? So if you just gently massage down, you can put lots of things. You can put some garlic, there's garlic in my butter here, but you can put lemon inside, underneath the chicken if you wanted to get a little bit of lemon flavouring as well. So there's a little bit of room down there. Yep, so there you go. So the plan is to mash the butter, and I've got far too much butter here, but there's about 100 grams of butter and about 3 tablespoons or more of parsley, so I thought I'd just mash that up. You could do it in the food processor if you wanted to as well. And the other butter I have here is the parsley butter, this butter. That's the parsley and garlic butter that we've also done in this series when I did a few different condiments. And I keep this always in my freezer, as you can see here, wrapped up in a sausage so that it's lovely to slice off, and I'll frequently have it with a piece of steak or with any other thing that I would like some butter and garlic to add flavour to. So that's all it is, butter, garlic and parsley. You can do it with radish, you can do it with a few other herbs too, do it with some basil if you wanted to. But if I have a parsley left over and I'm not going to be using it for a little while, I'll always put it in the food processor and make some parsley butter and throw it. You don't have to have garlic in it each time, you may want it without garlic. So I'm just going to add a couple of these here because of the nice garlic in them. Mash it up. And we're going to slowly, carefully push it under the skin and roast it. When I bring my meat and poultry home, I will sometimes do all of this. If I've got time in the day, I bring it home from the market, and I'll put this in a plastic container and I'll have it in the fridge, and you can keep it in the fridge for up to about 3 or 4 days, all ready to go, so that when you finish your work for the day and if you're a bit rushed and you don't have time to do anything, you can grab something like this out of your fridge and make yourself a really nice yummy dinner. So we just put some of this nice butter down there. And this will make the breast very succulent and juicy, but it is succulent and juicy even without it. So for those of you who are passing out at the thought of all this butter, don't worry, it is quite luscious, and it's something that we can have in our low carbohydrate healthy fat series. And this is all the things I do in this series are part of my Cook Real Food low carbohydrate healthy fat, so it's perfect for that. But years ago, when I was visiting France again, which I did often, I visited a cooking school in Burgundy called La Varenne Cooking School, run by a marvellous woman called Anne Willan, and I've got many of her books here. She's written about 30 cookbooks. She's a very famous chef. She opened La Varenne Cooking School in Paris about 35 years ago, and then she moved it to Burgundy into this most beautiful chateau called Chateau du Fay, and I spent a fabulous week there. She trained chefs there, and mainly Canadian chefs, young girls they were. They came over from Canada, and Anne was originally from America. Anyway, yes, so we had this wonderful week, and when we made this there, and they made it very special in those days. This was probably about 20 years ago. These days it's not quite as special as that because it's pretty easy to do, and a lot of people are doing it. So give it a try. Give it a try both ways. Give it a try without the lovely parsley butter and garlic, and just with the oil and salt and pepper. It's delicious. But we will do it this way today. I'm going to put a little bit more oil over the top of that chicken. So there's your spatchcock. It looks really pretty, doesn't it? It'll be very easy to serve, as you will see. And that is going to roast in a nice hot oven now for about 40 minutes, okay? I'll check it after 40 minutes and bring it out, and there's dinner ready for you. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay, everyone, so I'm just about to serve our spatchcocked chicken, and so I'm going to just quickly toss the vegetables in the wok, which is what I like to do as a quick, easy vegetable for the end of the day. And put a little bit of salt in there and on these. So what we have here, we've got some beans, some green beans. Can you see those, Michael? Some nice green beans, which we're going to stir fry in there. And we've got some green chilli, long green chilli, a little bit of kale, and a little bit of spring onion. So we'll just put those in, and we're going to serve those with the nice broccoli pesto. So that gives us some beans, some broccoli, some basil and goodies in there, plus the chilli, green chilies, and the kale. Just toss that a little bit. The green tops of the spring onions. looks just so pretty, I think. I love the green. Comes out really nicely, doesn't it, when it's been tossed with a bit of oil and some heat. Just leave that for a minute or two. Now the chicken has to be, the spatchcocked chicken has to be at 74 degrees. So I just checked it a little while ago and it was at 72, so it'll be 71 actually it was. So that's all we want for those. Just going to leave them in the pan for a moment, and we'll come back to them in a seckie and put them on the little serving dish that I have here while I check the spatchcock chicken. So I just checked the chicken and it's at 73.5. So we're going to take it out of the oven and let it sit on the bench and rest for a while. I checked it with my lovely oven thermometer, and by putting it into the thigh part here, and so I'm going to let it rest for a few minutes before we do anything with it. So I'm going to take it off this little rack, let it rest on my bench here. When I do it without the butter stuffing inside, it's actually much more golden on the top, okay? So if you choose not to use the butter and parsley and garlic stuffing, you'll find that it's a lot more golden. So these onions we will take out and we'll serve. So I'll pop them on the plate. Just a couple. Half. Just take off the little top bit. Don't want that on the plate. Lovely. I'll just serve one. We're going to, I actually thought I'd serve these greens on the little platter here, the little dish. And we will take those to the table, but I'll also serve some just on our serving plate. It's just a joyful colour, isn't it? So there's greens along with broccoli pesto, and we will just wait a couple of minutes for the chicken to rest and I will serve it. Just a couple of secs. Okay. Okay, so our chicken is rested for about 10 minutes or so, just to let it settle in. The juices remain. So all I'm going to do is to remove a Maryland and serve the Maryland. So, and what I'm going to do for the other is I'll do the same. So serve the Maryland, and then for the lovely breast, or you can take the wing off. And then for the breast, you can, I'll just do it this way, sorry. Just cut it down. And, oh, in fact, if you see inside there, Michael, see how lovely that is. Lovely and juicy. Really juicy and tender. Really nice. So, we will have another one of those. That is so juicy. Can you see that in the shot? It smells absolutely wonderful. So there you go, and we'll do the same on the other side. Take off the wing, the little joint there. Oh, there's a little joint. just in there. Oh, there it is. There you go. So there's a little wing for somebody who likes the wing. And we do the same this side. Oh. Let's just take those bones out. Don't want the bones. And so I'm going to serve another slice with the lovely parsley and garlic butter there. And I think that's probably enough. And we will put some of our lovely greens. Kale, beans, spring onions, and green chili pepper. And a lovely dollop of our basil pesto. And there we have a beautiful vegetable and chicken dish, roasted chicken, with, I've lost count of how many vegetables in there, but there's at least about 8 or 9. So I hope you enjoy making your evening dinner roasted chicken with some nice additions of vegetables as well.